Bored of inadequate film podcasts?
Frustrated by amateurish, immature content creators masquerading as film critics?
Then we have just the film podcast for you.
It's called Kermode and Mayo's Take.
And you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. Roll the tape.
Urchin, which is the feature directorial debut from Harris Dickinson, British actor who came on the show. I think he came on our show. Did he come to talk about Scrapper, or was he talking about Triangle of Sadness?
The ship film.
Triangle of Sadness, the ship vomiting film, yeah. Obviously, previously in Beach Rats, County Lines, and then co-starred with Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl. Also writes this and appears in it in a cameo role in Urchin. Although I had interviewed him on stage at the BFI, and he said, "Yeah, I only came in to that role. Actually, it's not a cameo role; it's a fairly major role." He said there was somebody else earmarked for it, but at the very last moment they couldn't do it, and because we'd done so much prep, I stepped into it because we didn't think somebody else could get up to speed fast enough. So, stars Frank Delane, who won the Un Certain Regard Best Actor Award at Cannes. So he's Michael, who we meet apparently living rough, see him begging on the streets. Someone tries to help him out, offers to take him to a cafe to buy him some food. Instead, he assaults them, beats them up, steals their watch, and promptly gets arrested. The assault is brutal. His manner is desperate. And as I said, the consequences are fairly swift. And then when he gets out of prison, the film basically follows his attempts to find his feet in the world. We see him being processed for temporary accommodation. We see him trying to find work. We see him trying to make friends and contacts, and then finding work and trying to hold down the job. But something is fundamentally out of whack. His personality is very abrasive, very aggressive, and he essentially blames everyone else for his problems. Here's a clip with a little taste of Urchin.
Why are you acting like this for no reason? I come in here all the time.
Oğlum bunu tanıyor musun?
I come back with leftovers later, I drop it back, I'll do that for you, my friend. My friend?
Go and get it, I'll give you this stuff. Just go and get your money and then come.
Say, why are you acting like this? You're acting like this for no reason. What's wrong with you? Why don't you trust me? Why don't you trust me?
I get some long papers.
Why don't you trust me? I'm an honest person, I work hard, I'm trying to be...
£1, yeah?
You know?
Thank you.
Every day I wake up to this feeling, man. It's like someone's there just saying, no, you can't come in, you know? It's like, no, not for you. Not for you.
So you get a sense of it. The music for the film is by Alan Nyson, who's a British composer who I hadn't actually come across before. Sounds
like a John Carpenter score.
With that kind of, that electronic, strange. It's a little bit Assault on Precinct 13 going on in the background there, isn't it? So the thing is that he's essentially a very hard character to like. I mean, and the thing that I was thinking of immediately was like the Safdie brothers, that film Heaven Knows What. And in fact, there'll be more talk of the Safdie brothers later on in the program. And the challenge for filmmakers in both cases is, how do you make an audience care about a character who is basically doing everything they can to alienate everyone around them, everyone on screen, and therefore, by implication, everyone in the audience? And I think it is a real credit to Harris Dickinson and his filmmaking that he is able to do that. He is able to kind of draw you into the world of a character who is really, really hard to get on with because they are struggling, with getting on with themselves. And there's no sense of soft soaping the character's behavior. I mean, as I said at the beginning, when you see him assaulting this guy who's trying to help, it's horrible. But the approach is very non-judgmental, and it encourages us, the audience, if not to sympathize with this character, but to empathize with them, to attempt to understand how it is that they are where they are and why they are. So on the one hand, the film has this kind of gritty edge, which whenever you talk about, I suppose, some British movies with a gritty social realist edge, you end up saying, well, it's like Ken Loach, because you think, that what you're watching is a kind of snapshot of life on the streets, and it seems to be very realistic. But the kind of depiction of how people can fall through the cracks, in a system and get lost in the system. But there is also another element to it. There's this kind of strange, dreamy, slightly hallucinogenic element that takes us into this other world, apparently going apparently the camera sort of goes down a plug hole and then into this mossy cave with a shaft of light, which seems to be something different and transcendent. And, I mean, if David Lynch did that, it would be deeply sinister. Actually, I think in this particular case, it's kind of it's like a fragment of light breaking into his world. I mean, I thought it was meant to be uplifting, and I thought it was meant to sort of to flag up an element of hope in the story. Anyway, that's what I thought. So the filmmaking style has been compared to Andrea Arnold. I think I'd add to that, it reminded me of people like Claire Barnard and Lynn Ramsey. And those are very, very good touchstones. I mean, if you're talking about a homegrown, down-to-earth filmmaker who manages to mix the grit with something transcendent, I think that's incredibly good company to be in. As I said, it's a very promising debut. And when Harris Dickinson came on the show, the thing I remember about him was that he was really dedicated. I mean, do you remember this? He said that he really needs things to be, to work and to be in order. And he really studies and he thinks about what he's doing. And he's really, really dedicated to it. And the same thing when I interviewed him at the BFI, I think he's a very committed filmmaker. And I think on the basis of this, he's got a very strong career behind the camera as well as in front of the camera ahead of him.